Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi.
Hello, my lovely. Welcome to another one of our Deliciously Motivated Mindset Conversation podcast episodes. This is going to be a good one. I'm actually quite intrigued. I always am. Of late, I've been finding that we start because we know what our title is. Curiosity. That's it. Embodying the curiosity. We're going to riff about tips to be positive when you don't feel it. But before we get into that, and maybe this is actually our first tip, is to come into our heart space. Whenever I start us off like this, I always put my own hands over my heart. I like to put both hands. So I invite you to do that if that feels comfortable for you, or just one hand. And just take a deep breath. Dropping your attention down into your chest, into your heart space. And allow yourself to feel your unique rhythm, your connection to your heart space, the seat of your soul. And feel your breath as you breathe in and breathe out, setting the intention that you're breathing in and out of your heart space, calming your nervous system. And the more you bring your awareness down to your heart space, the quieter your head and your chattering mind becomes. Just allow yourself to land here. Good. And now one more breath like that, setting the intention that you are connecting your energy with my energy, with Deb's energy, with every other being listening to this conversation, regardless of when or where. We have the power to connect in these ways. It's such an important piece to just drop into this whenever you need to. If you ever start to feel a wee bit discombobulated or a bit worried or just off, it's time. It's a little tap on your shoulder to say, oh, wait, hands on my heart. Nice deep breath. And from that space, I encourage you to keep focusing on that as we grab our note-taking device, whatever that is for you, and let's get into this conversation. Tips to be positive when you don't feel it. Well, I think there's a few caveats to this one, isn't there?
I think there is. You think there is. There's a lot going from that, but absolutely number one is exactly what you just did, the heart coherent, and pause and just feel.
I really like a couple of episodes, might have been the last one or the one before that, you said that stop, pause, and breathe.
Yeah, I've got that on a post-it note on my computer. I'm traveling at the moment, but it's at home. Stop, pause, and breathe.
Yeah, I really like that. And that's what we're doing when we do that. That stop, pause, and breathe. We need to get a t-shirt with that made up.
Yeah, it's probably somebody who's already got it.
Oh, probably.
Probably. But that is so important. And just that stop, pause, and breathe allows the chaos around just to settle. The snow globe.
Yep. It's a snow globe moment. You being in your own snow globe.
Yeah, and just letting it fall and being okay with the way it just that, yeah, stop, pause, and breathe. But I love, when you're just doing your heart coherent, I was looking out the hotel window and I was just feeling, I could just feel that. And it's just one that you can do publicly,
Mhm. Yep.
because there's a lot of things that we go, oh, we can't do that in public, and stand on one foot and it's going to help you regulate your system. There's a whole lot of, I
Or
don't
sit
that,
down in a lotus position, or
yeah, exactly,
yeah.
exactly. But this is having that heart, stop, pause, and breathe can be done anywhere, unless you're driving on the motorway, then you're
But you
going to
can
have to
still
pull
put
off.
one hand. You can
So
still put one hand.
absolutely.
I do.
So there's a
Actually, I
little
do
bit.
when I'm driving. I'll do that.
Yeah, I do that when I'm talking to some people. Um, but just obviously be aware of your situation, but it's something that can be done publicly without other people knowing
What you're
what's
doing.
going on
Yeah.
for you.
Mhm.
Because I think when we, that tips to be positive when you don't feel it, I would say that I would be, oh, I'm having to put on a facade, and then it's like, well, why do you have to put on a facade? They're not that important. Like, there's a gazillion things from that. But also, if you're worried about that, like, don't in your mind think, oh, I can't do it, people are going to judge me. Like, just, this is something you can do.
Mhm.
This is not telling you to do something that's going to shut people out or anything. It's just, this is what you can do, just to fill your heart up.
Yeah. Yeah. And fill your heart up, but try it. Even if your head's saying, oh, I can't do this and I don't have time and I have to get in
Mm.
action mode. And yeah, thank you, chattering mind. Just try it anyway. Try it anyway.
Yeah.
So that's tip number 2 is curiosity. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what could happen if I tried this? Right? You're not
I
allowed to
think
say it doesn't work unless you try it.
absolutely. Well, I think that comes into that trust, but does trust come into a separate one? Because the curiosity, wonder what this represents, and what's going on, and let me try this.
Yeah.
Is the trust there, or do we need to actually say trust? Do
I
we
would
need to
say trust.
remind?
I would say trust as a separate, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So trust when you're leaning in for that curiosity.
Yeah, because you see, trust to me says that I can still be positive. I can still smile when I don't feel it. And I trust that this too shall pass, that uh, even if I can't see the sparkles and the
Mm.
unicorn moments or the calmness, right?
Yeah.
Because chaos happens, discombobulation happens. And so therefore, maybe my energy is maybe in some frame of a funk, but I
Mm.
can still be positive and not allow that sort of in a funk or in a questioning or in a spiral. That's not going to be what I project
Yeah.
out. Do you know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying is I trust that this is for my best good, having these feelings,
Yeah.
and that I can still um, ripple out some positive, some kindness, some compassion. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, and just when you're saying about for my best good, I'm actually going to add in there, I trust that this is for my best good and for others,
Yeah.
because we do have a little bit. So it's not just, I trust this is going to work for me. Actually, I trust this is going to work. This is going to be in my best good for myself and others.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you put that in as well, you're actually having that not an empathy towards other people, but just that thoughtfulness, that awareness of others, because we can't hide, or we can't not think about others in a situation.
No, no, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. But in thinking of others, we can just kind of run through a filter of, do I really need to say this? Right?
Mm.
Because sometimes we can have a reaction or a a reaction or to something that's happening, and you don't necessarily need to speak it out, right?
Yeah.
You can just say, okay, or
Mm.
thank you for your opinion, or do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like sometimes if we don't feel positive, and then less is better.
That's right.
right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think, yes, and I'm going to add another thing, on here is don't be transparent to a degree,
Mm-hmm.
to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Just say if you've got your family around and you don't, and you feel you have to be positive and you just don't feel it, just let people know.
Yeah.
But you don't have to let them know any reason. Just say, hey, I'm just feeling a little bit off today. I may not
Yes.
be myself. Because if you don't, you go to work and you're quiet. Oh, I wonder what's happened to Deb. Oh, why is Deb? Actually, this actually happened to me recently. Oh,
Yeah,
surprise.
we were just talking about this.
Well, I was just like, hang on, this happened to somebody I know. Deborah, that was you.
Yep.
Yes. And so sometimes people are used to me being the
A
glitter
certain
bomb in
way.
the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, in a certain way. That's a lovely way of saying it. And I that this particular time I went and I just stayed in my lane and did what I was supposed to do. And I didn't feel I needed to. I didn't lead. I didn't need to lead. I was a participant
Mhm.
in the dynamics. I didn't need to be the leader. And people are like, oh, what's wrong with Deborah? Is she okay? And there was a lot of drama behind the scenes about me that I didn't even know. I was just like, today you are a participant. You're going to be a follower from what the leader's expecting. But other people are like, that's not like her. That's not like her.
Mhm.
And so they were worried about me.
Mhm.
Me, I didn't even know till 3 weeks after that, because they're all having a great old conversation, but that's a whole nother thing. But so just let people know. And I think I wouldn't have thought I needed to tell people. I'm just going to be doing what I'm told.
Mhm.
I didn't needed that. And next time I'm still not going to tell that, because that's not for me to go, I'm just doing what I'm told. It's their perception. But if you're not feeling uplifting and vibrating and things are working in your way and you've got a lot on your mind, just let people know, hey, today might be a little bit off. I might be a little bit quiet today. Don't take it personally. Well, there's another one, don't take it personally. But that, like, it's me. But you
Yeah.
don't have to give an explanation.
100%. And I think that, so what we're talking about being transparent, it's good to say, I don't have the bandwidth for this today.
Mm.
And
Actually,
and
I
that's
remember
it.
our Prime Minister in New Zealand saying that. And she said the bandwidth's broken. It was one of the first things she said, well, when she was
Right.
resigned, and she said, my bandwidth's gone.
Yeah.
And it just made so much sense. You're just like, that's all we needed. I didn't care
Yeah.
what's on for you. I didn't bother. I just went, wow, how honest is that? Just
Yeah.
being completely honest and saying, my bandwidth's done.
Yep. So that's kind of where I was coming from when I said less is better or less is
Mm,
more. Because here's
mm,
the thing, and I've got a situation that I'm actually feeling pretty confident and good because I feel like I've come through the other side of this situation
mm.
where I'm being told who I am. There's certain people in my circles that are kind of like, oh, you're doing this and you're not doing that, and you should be doing this and you should be doing that. And
Hang on. That's me as well. What's going on between you and I? Because
oh
that's
gosh,
me.
we're
I've
on.
been
See, we vibe together. That's what it is.
Okay, listeners, if that's you as well, can you
That
please put that in the chat? Let us
yes,
know if
let
you're
us
on the
know.
same if you're on the same train that Deb and Moira are going on right now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and here's what, and this has actually been my sort of guiding factor through this, and that's why I'm feeling good about it now, is I don't have to explain myself to anybody.
Mm.
That's the thing for you. You don't have to explain yourself to everybody or anybody, right? When they
No.
say, oh, Deb, you're not being the way you normally are. No, I'm being me. Because we all have
Mm.
different ways of interacting. And if we're being honest, vulnerable, curious, truthful, authentic, that's it.
Mm.
And
That's the
so,
end of. Mm.
yes. And so, as we, and listeners, a lot of you will know that I've come through, this past year has been a very paradigm shifting year for me because
That's a
I'm
beautiful
in,
way of saying it.
yes. and
Paradigm shifting.
and so I get to find out things about myself that I never knew. And
Mm.
so for somebody to think that they know me already, it's like, all right, well, inform me, but then you're going to have to let me say, nope, that's not.
Well,
That's not
that's the old
what it
thing.
is.
That's the old thing of well, Moira back when she was at school, she did this, and this. It's like, mate, we're like years ahead of that. I mean, I still see celebrities, and I say celebrities, the ones who are in the media often. I still hear people say, "Oh, back at school, she was this, this, and this." I mean, even there was I'm going to mention that Coldplay um thing of the two people at the concert who got caught canoodling.
Oh,
Um,
right, yes.
and I saw an article saying, well, back at school, he was this, this, and this, and it's like, mate, he's well and truly into his, well, I don't know if he was
He
40 or
probably
50, but
has no idea what you're talking about.
no, we're talking about, we're talking about 20, 30 years on. Like, yeah, so I think that's the other thing is that beautifulness is remembering you're evolving.
Yes. Yes. And giving everyone permission to evolve in their right way.
Mm.
Because you cannot, my dad used to do that sometimes, it's like, oh, well, you said you were going to do this. And then, 5 years later, you'd say, oh, but you said you were going to do this. It's like, well, gosh, I can't remember saying that, let alone needing to be held accountable for whatever this was.
5 years ago. Where was I? When was it? Still
Exactly.
don't remember, Dad. Still landing a what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point because, we all do. You could have two people living in the same environment doing the same things, and their evolutionary path is going to be different because they're running it through their own belief system, their own ideas, their own
Yeah.
mindset, their own worldview.
Mm.
And so one can't say, oh, because I'm here, that means you have to be there. Oh, I remember you doing this or saying this back when we were at this point.
Yeah.
No, we need to allow our own evolution, our own development, um, our own path through it,
Mm.
right? Whatever it is.
Whatever and I think that's the other thing is, you mentioned curiosity earlier. I
Hmm.
think that's the other thing is whatever it is,
Yes,
it is. And
just is. That's acceptance, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I think I know I'm going to go back a little bit back to that curiosity is and then bring it into a new tip, but tips to be positive when you don't feel it. What outcome do you want? Like you are the captain of your own ship, you're the own
You're the
train
boss of
driver of
you.
your yeah, exactly. So tips to be positive when you don't feel it. What do you want? Do you just
Hmm.
want away from everybody? Do you
Hmm.
just want to sit and feel it? Do you want to go for a run? Like what do you want to do? And then you decide. But if you don't set your intention what you want, and you may not know what you want, I also have to say to you, you may not know what you want. So these tips are definitely helping you. But if you don't know what you want, then go back to that stop, pause, and breathe. But don't force. Oh, what do I want? Deb said I need to find out what I want, and Moira said that, like no, just what do you want? And if it doesn't come, it's okay. It'll come. Don't get desperate, but you set the intention.
So, that's a really good point because it's true. We may not know exactly what we
Mm,
want, but generally speaking, we're going to know what we want to feel.
yes.
Right. And so if you don't have oh, I want to have this project, this result, this achievement, that's fine. If you can't access that, come back to what do you want to feel? Maybe you want to just feel joy, feel
Mm,
happy, feel calm, feel
yeah.
connected with your purpose,
Present.
feel
Boy.
present, yeah, feel grounded. Those are beautiful ways to start maybe seeing a wee bit of positivity.
Mm,
It's not going to all be rainbows and unicorns necessarily, but by just saying, I just want to feel calm. Good.
yeah.
Let's do some heart coherence. Stop, pause, and breathe.
I think just even when you were just saying that, I was like, tips to be positive when you don't feel it. You know what I'm going to say, the G spot, the gratitude one.
Yep.
Because that will take you to that beautiful place.
Hmm.
And the positivity doesn't have to look like pom-poms and cheerleading
No.
like that. It's just actually being grateful. Being grateful will take you to being grateful for whatever's going on. Moira mentioned that curiosity earlier, but being grateful for that, being curious,
Hmm.
being grateful for just being able to stop, pause, and breathe.
Yeah.
Grateful you can just say to your family or a colleague, hey, I'm just not feeling everything today. Just let me be, or let me do this. Being able to be grateful for that, being grateful that you have this feeling and you can still feel your body.
That's positive in itself to
That
just
isn't,
say,
it's
it's
not a
just not
pom-pom.
vibing me for me
Yeah,
today. It could
yeah,
just be a, that's it.
yeah,
That's it. That's all you
yeah,
have to do. And going back to that thing, you don't have to justify or explain or make somebody else come into your belief system on that. It's
yeah,
okay. Just be
yeah,
okay with who you are and what's going on with you in that moment,
yeah.
right? Something that came up for me at the very beginning of our conversation, and I didn't get a chance to bring it in. It's a
Surprise.
quote. It's a quote. And I can't remember who said it. I'll have to find it. But it's about, I think it's a Buddhist quote that basically says, muddy water becomes clear when you leave it alone.
Oh, it does. It
Oh,
does.
it does. See?
Oh,
So if you're not feeling positive because all your waters are muddied and it feels all murky, maybe it's just let it alone.
I'm just writing that muddy water becomes clear. It does.
Does. Just let it alone. Like I said, I'm going to have to figure out where that quote came from because I don't think it was a teabag quote.
Oh, I'm in America at the moment. I can get my
Oh, you get some.
yogi
Yay! You
into the
need to get
supermarket.
some.
Oh, I definitely will. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't it be funny next week that I'm
If
the one
you
pulling a
pull
tea
my,
bag quote?
yes, that's your homework. I want you to do that.
I got a little bit excited about that. Okay, I'm going back to how muddy water becomes clear when you leave it alone. I love that. I love that. That's just a beautiful quote. Yeah. I would laugh my head off if that's one of my quotes that I pull out of my tea bag.
That would be hilarious. But we're in such synchronicity,
That
and
is,
I wouldn't be surprised. I would
that'll
say,
be
but of
her.
course.
It'll be Moira who's going to pull a tea bag quote at the end of this, and she's going to end up going, "You wouldn't believe what I've got." And I'm like, "Really? Really, everybody, listeners? Really? We wouldn't believe?"
Well, of
Yeah.
course we believe.
Of course we believe. Of course we believe. I do. I love that. I love that. And that goes back to that stop, pause, and breathe
Yeah,
again.
yeah. In the stillness, the answers can land.
Yeah.
In the stillness, we can kind of go, oh,
Yeah.
that was for my best good.
Oh, now I can see it. Often we see it down the track, and that goes back to that trust. Often, a few days later, like, oh, that makes sense why that happened.
Yeah.
Now I understand. And that is that part of that curiosity and that trust. Just go, yeah, well, it'll unfold when the perfect time's ready.
Yeah.
Like you can't force or do anything. It'll happen when it happens,
That's a
basically.
wee bit about how you and I talked about this recently about the difference between trust and faith.
I was just going to say faith. Pardon. And I had to mute myself to cough. And you go, okay, I'll be quiet. You carry on. Yeah. Look, I'm going to carry on coughing now.
You're funny. You're funny. But so, because we kind of unpacked that about trust,
Mm,
that time passes and you kind of go, oh, that's why that happened, why I said yes to that or no to that, or where I was in a funk, but faith says, even if I don't know the way through this,
mm,
I'm on the right track. And so that's actually a really beautiful way to become positive when you don't feel it, is I'm in a funk today. I'm this the cup feels half empty,
yeah.
but I have faith that this, as I do what I can or what my intuition is steering me towards, and maybe your intuition is steering you towards, carve some time out for yourself. Go and sit and journal. Go for a walk outside. Go play with your cat. Go stand by the edge of the water. Oh, that's all things that what Moira would say to herself.
I'm like, is that glitter bombing? What would you be
Yeah, pretty
doing?
much. But that
Or
allows
spray
you to
perfume?
comes back to having faith, is I
Mm,
don't have to have all the answers, but I can follow that thread. It's like I get this visualization of this beautiful, so there's some spiritual beliefs that call it the red thread, that it's like that's what joins all of your experiences. And when we get into our own flow of I have faith and all I have to do is follow the, oh, let's go this way. Oh, let's try that. And oh,
Mm,
right?
yeah. It's funny that you said faith, that I was middle coffee. That it is, and they stand side by side. They're
Yeah.
both so important. They're
Mm-hmm.
so important. And I think that then, when you talked about faith, it's going back to your old memories and
Mm.
going, oh, I've been through this before.
Yes.
No, exactly. Look, this is not the first time I'm feeling down the bottom of my roller coaster or I'm in a funk. This is not the first time it feels a little bit grey outside.
Yeah.
This is, and reminding yourself. So going back and, even just pulling up a last memory
Yeah.
that you've had of where you were in a funk. Okay, when was the last time I wasn't feeling positive and I just didn't feel like doing it and I had to go to something? And looking at that and then going back to that gratitude and knowing that I got through that. Wow, and this is nothing on that one. I didn't think I'd ever get through that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, just doing a check-in, an internal journal. When was the last time I was feeling like this? And what did I do about it? And how did I get through it? And how was it a benefit to me? How was it a benefit to others? And they're like, oh, wow,
Mm.
okay,
Mm.
crikey. And so it just calms your farm.
Calms your farm. But you know, it actually gives you a wee lift in confidence also,
Mm.
because then you can kind of go, oh, got this. It's all good.
Yeah, that's
Right?
it. I've got this.
Hmm.
And actually, I've got this with I'm not just telling myself an affirmation. I've got this, I've got this, I've got this 20 times in the mirror. This you tell I don't do that, people. But if you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not going to say I don't have judgment on it, but go for it. Um, but I've got this is because these are the examples. It
Right.
makes sense. And you're
Right. So
like,
it's believable to you. You're
yeah,
like,
so it's
yeah,
realistic. There's an example of it. I can see it. It's
I've
not a,
proved it to myself. I've
yeah.
got this. I'm more resilient than sometimes we need a wee reminder that, oh
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Gosh, yes, I've been through rough stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
not gonna,
surprise. There's
yeah,
one person who's listening here today who, not one person who has not gone through a wobble.
absolutely.
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
Wobble.
So something that I just thought of is the tip I'm thinking of is to watch your inner dialogue. And where I'm coming from with that is in our inner dialogue, sometimes we can ask why. Why am I feeling in a funk? Why am I feeling a bit depleted? Why do I not have the bandwidth for that? Why is that pissing me off? Whenever we do that, why will always lead us down that negative spiral. So
That's a hamster wheel. That's
it
around and round and round.
yeah. So see if you have that come up for yourself, see if you can reframe why questioned into what. What's
Yeah.
the gift here? What can I
Yeah.
learn from this? What's the what's the next best step?
Wisdom.
What would help me? Yeah, what's the wisdom? I like that one.
Yeah.
So reframe why questions into what will right there help you take a little baby step towards the positivity. I'm not saying you're going to jump right into ta-da, there you are, you're reframed into positive, but it actually helps you because it's more solution focused. It's more
It takes you out of that wobble.
what? Yeah,
Yeah. And also that, how is this serving my higher purpose? What is my higher purpose? How is this, you know, what's the gift here that's serving my higher purpose or what I'm here to do?
Yeah.
Now, and as I say that, people might be listening going, I don't have a purpose. Well, today, let's just focus with today.
And P.S. You do have a purpose.
Yeah, we know, I
Shh.
know that.
Shh.
I know that. But yeah, how is this serving me for the best and highest good for where I'm going and what I want to do?
Yeah, for the direction I'm on, for the trajectory I'm on.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to go back to that stop, pause, and breathe, and give yourself that permission. I just want to go back to that. I just did a social media post recently about giving yourself permission, because not often do we give ourselves permission to do that. But know that your cup is more important than anybody else's. And I say that as a mother,
Mhm.
and I say that as a partner, and I say that as a daughter, and I say that as a colleague, because if I'm not filling my own cup up, if I'm not fulfilled,
Hmm.
I don't, I
You're
don't
not of any service to anyone.
know.
Mm-mm.
No. So ensure that you're giving yourself permission, and don't make a big scene of it. That's the other thing. Oh, I need
No.
to do this. I need to go. It's like, no, actually, I just need to ponder, wander, feel, bring that curiosity in.
Well, this whole piece around what I'd like to talk about as sacred self-care. And
Ah,
sacred self-care needs to put you as the very top of your own priority list.
yeah.
And that's exactly what you just said. You need to give yourself permission, and that is actually part of sacred self-care. Give yourself permission to make you the most important thing that you attend to.
Mm,
And it doesn't matter what role you play, what responsibilities you have, if you're a caregiver or you're a mother or a father or all of those, you must look after you first.
yeah.
Because, and here's the thing that happens, and it's generally women that take this more so, but women tend to we tend to overgive and overcare, and um but follow that. If you put yourself at the bottom of your priority list, resentment starts to creep in, because
Mhm.
if you're putting everybody else's needs above your own, then you
Yeah.
can internally, it's kind of like, why don't they see the sacrifices I'm making? Why don't they see all these things that I'm doing for them? And why should they? Really? Why should they? It's
Yeah.
you
I
that
just
set
shrugged
you're
my
setting them.
shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just was like, yep. Yep.
So that's why it's so important, because then, because that's the other analogy that I like to give, is that you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Mm,
And the thing is that when you have a full overflowing cup, there is never any resentment or shoulds, or
mm,
you give from your saucer. So you keep replenishing your cup and you give from your saucer. And that's a beautiful way to, as quickly as you can, to navigate through times where you don't feel positive.
yeah.
And maybe not feeling positive is a little tap from your own intelligence internally that says, hey, psst, you're
Mm,
sliding on your own self-care. You're
yeah.
not attending to your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. That's the four pillars, the PEMs we've talked about so many times in previous episodes, right? But
Yeah.
sometimes that can inform that, right? Is that if you're
Mm,
feeling a bit off or feeling a bit ticked off, it's like, oh yes, wait, it's because I haven't slept properly, or I haven't had my own breathing time, or
yeah.
right.
Yeah. And when you was just saying that, I think, well, I went to gratitude,
Mm.
instantly, but actually, uh, we're talking about tips to be positive when you don't feel it, but open your eyes and actually see it. So name it.
Mm.
Like, what was it? Name it, don't shame it.
Yeah,
Like, literally name it and go, you know what? I am in a funk,
yeah.
because you can't avoid it, but also be thankful that you can actually see it, because there may be signs before this that have happened for you, and they've just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now your whole body is shutting down, and you get up and you're tired and you're exhausted, and because the body has been giving you signs all the way along, but you may not have seen it. So I think, just opening your eyes and going, oh, okay.
Mm,
I don't want to be, I've got a bit of a sore throat. Wow, I've got a big speaking gig later. Wow, this is really interesting.
mm,
And then you start looking and you go back and you look at those signs, bringing that curiosity. Oh, I didn't want to do this speaking gig, and there was all this self-doubt, da, da, da. So I think
right.
it's that name it, name it. And
Yeah.
as soon as you name it, not shaming it, but you have to see it.
Mhm. You have to see it, but you also have to feel it, right? Because I have this philosophy about emotions, our emotions. You know how I say this? How do I feel about myself here?
Mm,
Um, it's so important to allow for us to allow ourselves to feel the feelings. And I
yeah.
love what you just said, name it, don't shame it. So if I feel, well, I feel discombobulated, I feel pissed off, I feel irritated, I feel
Yeah.
right, I feel angry. They're all emotions. We are emotional beings. And when we can really go, oh, look, that's helping me realize I'm giving my power away, or
Mm.
I'm letting people tromp all over my boundaries, maybe. Because sometimes that's part of it, right?
I know, and well, it doesn't have to be something big, and it is. But when we name it, I want to also add, you know, that shaming, naming, don't shame it, but really don't go, oh, I should have known better.
Yeah.
Oh, this is, like Moira and I are a coach, but we get sideswiped. We still get sideswiped with things. And
Yeah.
yes, quotation should have known better, but we're freaking human. We're
Yes.
here, and when things come to us, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I've missed the last four signs of this
Right.
happening. Of
Right.
course, but we're human, and I think that's a really important part is not shaming yourself for missing the boat
Hmm. Yeah.
because the time wasn't right that you didn't see those last ones, and now is the most perfect time to go back and check out that,
Whatever that,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever that
So
is,
this is
yeah,
having
whatever.
having
Mm,
compassion for yourself. Because to your point, we are all human, and we can't go into, oh, I should have known better. Like, no, for at
mm,
that point,
mm.
that's how I did it or
Yeah.
didn't do it.
Yeah, so what I did or didn't do. And I love that compassion to yourself. I think
Hmm.
that's definitely a individual tip, to be positive is have that compassion for yourself. You are human here
Yep.
in this world having it, well, I'd like to think you are. Um, as I
Might be
say,
some aliens listening to us.
yeah. Okay, good luck with my accent. Uh, they probably speak a gazillion languages anyway.
Yep.
But you're human, having a human experience right here. So being able to have that compassion for yourself is incredibly important.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Listeners, I know we're coming up to the wrap up time, and I feel we're just warm. Is this like getting more and more? We're just warming
I
up.
know. I know. Like, oh, we just got into the flow. I think we just
I just
started.
I felt we have. Listeners, if you'd like us to extend our podcasts,
Let us know.
then let us know. If you'd like double the amount of like, please let us know because we are open to feedback.
Mhm.
But don't be offended if we don't take your feedback on. Um, just say that. Just say
just
that.
just
Uh,
saying.
but if you're open to extending the podcast, if that's what you, because it does feel like, God, we're just getting
We
into it,
just got
Moira.
into our
No,
conversation.
and here we are, and here we are. Um, Tips to be positive when you don't feel it. Grab that note-taking device because we are going to jump in and crack on,
Hmm.
basically. Crack,
Hmm.
crack on with what we talked about. And we know the first one. The first one was the heart coherent.
Hmm.
The heart coherent, taking back. Well, that's where Moira uh, spoke so beautifully, hand on heart, and we thought about that, and we talked about stop, pause, and breathe. And I've added a couple of things that we talked about further down and brought that back because that heart coherent is incredibly important for every day, whether you start your day with that or finish your day with that or whatever, or throughout the day, whatever
Throughout the
works
day,
for
yeah.
you. So it's
Hmm.
not just a one and done. Sometimes something might happen.
Hmm.
And another feeling may come up, exactly 5 minutes after you've been heart coherent, it's okay. And that was that stop, pause, and breathe. And Moira said muddy waters become clear, when you leave it alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's just another reminder of that stop, pause, and breathe.
Hmm. Well done. You brought that right up to the top of the list.
I wrote it. I wrote it. I wrote it. Yeah.
Yes. The next one we talked about was curiosity. This is a thread that we've been weaving
Ah,
into our conversations. I love the curiosity. There's a sense of play, a sense of adventurousness. But this is what I was saying that because we were talking a little bit about when we were saying do the stop, pause, and breathe to just come into a state of calmness that the inner dialogue might be, I don't have time, I have to get this done, I have to. And so my suggestion is just try out. Just try out a
mm,
heart coherent, a breathe into your heart and see. See what happens. Be curious.
yeah.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
Right.
And when we talked about thinking, when we talked about that, the next one that sort of flowed from that, because they do seem to flow, there's in no
They
order I
do.
say, but they
Yeah.
are,
Yep.
with what comes out of our mouth, is trust.
Mhm.
And trust is so important to allow you that beautifulness to get through your day or your evening or get through that moment or that whatever you've got going on.
Mhm.
And when we're trusting, we're going to trust for the best good for myself or for you people. That's just, I'm saying
Yeah.
myself, but that means you're going to say yourself. Not what's the best good for Deborah, but also what's the best good for others.
Or the
And
others in your vicinity. Yeah.
and having that trust, because that just brings in a wider sphere for you, is having that trust.
Mhm. And then from there, we talked about being transparent. Being transparent, and this is where we talked about less is more. So being transparent doesn't mean you have to explain. So if you're not feeling positive or you're feeling in a funk or you don't have the bandwidth for something, you do not have to explain all the nuances and all the whys or wherefores. It's so important to just say, it just doesn't work for me right now.
Yeah.
Or I just don't have the bandwidth for that today. Or I'll get back to you later. Right?
Mm.
So you
I,
be transparent, you be honest, but you don't need to give anybody any big long
justify.
explanation or justify it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I just realized I forgot the next one. So I'm going to go to the one after that, and then Moira's going to fill the gaps. And this is me,
Okay.
Moira, what's happening here. Is reminding yourself that you're just a new one for Deborah, surprise, is that you're evolving and you're giving yourself permission.
That was the next one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So we
Okay.
talked about being authentic, vulnerable, truthful, and remembering that we're all evolving.
Okay,
So there was
perfect.
a little bit to fill in, but you're
Okay,
on
so
the
I had a
right track.
hashtag there. I was like, okay, I don't know what that was, but okay, perfect. There it goes. You're authentic. What was it? Authentic, vulnerable,
And truthful.
and truthful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're evolving and you're giving yourself permission.
And that we all are, right? That
Yeah.
we're all, and that's where I can't remember if it was at this point, but or another point where I was saying, two people in the same environment with the same situations will be evolving at different rates.
That's
They'll
right.
have different results, different attitudes, and they're both fine.
Mm,
They're both the truth.
they're both perfect. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's such an important part. Because so from that tip, I wrote down acceptance of what is and where you are.
Oh, I see. I missed that one.
That came from that conversation that we were talking about, that we are all evolving, and that where I'm at is the exact right space of evolution for me, and where somebody right next to me is exactly the right space of evolution for them, right?
I remember that conversation. Surprise. Please, listeners, don't add up how many times I do this, because I pretty much say, I think pretty much each podcast, maybe. You
Maybe,
know,
maybe not everyone, but it's all good.
yeah,
I've got you.
yeah, phew, phew. Um, the next one I have is set intention of what you want, what you desire, what outcome, and you may not know. And the other thing is, you may not know that you want an outcome for this. You just want to be okay with being okay.
Yeah.
Or being out of sorts, whatever that is. So set that intention of what you want,
Yes.
because if you don't, outside sources will set it for you. And this is about, again, you being the captain of your own ship, you
Yeah.
being the boss of you.
You being the boss of you. And I had added on to that tip a wee bit because, like, to your point, we don't always know what outcome we want or what result or what our goal or intention is, but we do know what we want to feel.
I
So
feel like
that's
I
the
feel it
pieces.
somewhere.
What do you want to
Yeah.
feel? Maybe you just want to feel peaceful, or feel joy, feel happy, feel calm, right? And
Yeah.
that can then inform the next steps. But so
Yeah.
it's just that's just a nice way to get in touch with that.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from there, we said being grateful.
What am I laughing? Yes.
Being grateful. And because that can actually help you be more intentional also, right?
Mm.
And sort of go, gosh, look at all these beautiful things I have around me that I celebrate and that I'm so grateful for. And that can go, oh, I want more of this, or I prefer to go that way, or I want to encourage this to develop, right?
Gratitude pulls away that tanglement and just straightens it out. I think, for me, gratitude, if someone said to me, what's one tip you can, in fact, that you see my hands. You see my hands. I was actually in the swimming pool here at the hotel the other day, and a lady said to me, she said, because I said I was a stressologist and been doing it for 19 years, and she said to me, give me one tip that's going to get me out of a funk. And I said gratitude.
Yeah.
And as I actually said gratitude, I put my hand on my heart. And she went, oh, I can feel that. She said, yeah, gratitude. She said, that's it. That's all I need to do is live in gratitude each day.
Yep.
And I said, yeah, but there will
Yep.
be moments you won't, clearly, because that's a false persona that I'm going to be happy or fulfilled and grateful and skip through the daisies. But that is to me is the one greatest tip I would give is that the gratitude. Yeah.
Attitude of gratitude. Because and I've said that before too, is that what you appreciate appreciates. And
I know.
that's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Um, the next one I've got is faith.
Mm-hmm. Which you were going to say, and I beat you to it.
As
Faith.
I was mid cough, yes,
Yes.
faith,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that feeling inside as well. That having that faith, which is a little bit different to trust. So they actually stand side by side to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're definitely two different words, but having that faith will shut all the drama down again. Yeah.
Having that faith, and that's when we were talking about having faith. And if this was your suggestion, was to follow your old memories.
Collect the
Because
data. Yeah.
because it actually informs you of, gosh, I've been through stuff before. I've got this.
Well, I actually put that as a separate one. I've got this
Okay.
data, but because it feels like I've got this when you
Yeah.
have that, when you're collecting the data of all your past stories. I've got this,
Mhm.
but it's not a false, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. It's actually,
Yeah. It's not
it's a
just a verbiage of it. It's the
feeling. If you could see
embodiment of it.
my hand actions, you could feel it right deep inside. Just as well, we're not doing a live video here, but yeah, I've got this.
Yeah.
Having that, I've got this. Yeah.
The next one I have is where I was talking about watching your inner dialogue. And I really, and my clients know this, that I really encourage people to reframe any why question into what. So if you're going, why am I in a funk? Why am I feeling so cranky or pissed off? Doesn't matter, because that's actually going to lead you down a negative spiral. But what is this doing for me? And that's actually when you said, how is this serving my purpose? But or what is the wisdom here? What's the intel?
Yeah.
What can I, and to bring some curiosity in here?
Mm.
What am I going to discover here?
Yeah. Ooh
Right?
la la. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next tip I have written down is sacred self-care.
Hmm.
And even just saying that sacred self-care, if you're in a discombobulated state, that's if somebody said sacred self-care, just sacred self-care.
Yep.
It just feels it's already starting to
Feels like
feel
you're being
well.
wrapped in a blanket, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. And having that, and that's when Moira has she's taught me this, and I love it, and I share it with so many people, is putting yourself first, definitely. But when you give from the overflow that's sitting in your saucer. Don't give from your cup.
Mhm.
Give from the saucer. Let them lap up that overflow
Mhm.
rather than you.
Depleting. Mhm.
Yeah. And that
Mhm.
sacred self-care is incredibly important for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The next one that I have written down, and this is what you said, I really like this one, is to name it, don't shame it.
Mm,
So if you're in a funk, it's okay. You know, when we shame it, it kind of sticks around or gets louder or gets heavier. It's
it
like, no,
does.
I'm just in a funk.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But
What?
having that opportunity to be able to actually see it, yeah, not avoid it is a beautiful thing because it does happen. And then I grabbed the last one is when Moira added from the name it, don't shame it, was have compassion to yourself.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
compassion, have love, have presence and beautifulness to yourself because you're here having this experience in this human world and you're human. You're not somebody who can fix everything all the time.
No. And it's
You know.
so important to just allow yourself to feel your feelings. Feeling your
Mm.
feelings helps inform you of your own journey, right?
Yeah, totally.
Hmm.
Do we have a teabag quote?
We do. We have one right here.
Say that before I wrap up the finale, the last part.
And this week's one is the heart sees deeper than the eye.
Oh,
That is a good one.
oh,
Isn't that good? The heart
oh,
sees deeper than the eye. And so even if you're not feeling positive, the heart sees deeper and
yeah.
knows that this too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
It feels right. It feels right.
Hmm. Hmm.
And next week, listeners, you might just get a teabag
Yeah,
quote.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
So am I. So am I. I'm wondering if I've got an hour after this to no, I can't whip away to I have to find a supermarket where I am. Goodness gracious me. Yeah, it's going to take longer than an
I have
hour.
to get a delivery to your room.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the supermarket and get some yogi. Is it yogi?
Yogi.
Yogi.
It's Yogi. Yogi.
Okay. Well, I'm so pleased. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, of course it's purple. Of
Of
course it's a
course it
purple tea
is.
bag.
Didn't you realize that? Yes.
Listeners, it's
They're
purple.
they're purple.
No, and well, I'm pleased you told me because people are already struggling with my accent anyway. I'm going to go, do you have yogi tea bags? They would have gone, what?
What?
Tea bags, yogi, tea bags.
Yogi tea bags.
Purple. They're purple. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So listeners, wrapping up our tips to be positive when you don't feel it. I'd love you now just to reflect on what we've talked about. I'd love you to reflect on the tips that we have shared here today. And I'd love you to ask yourself, what's the most meaningful step you can take today? What's the most meaningful step you can take today to honor your highest inspiration?
Hmm.
What is that most meaningful step you can take today to honor your highest inspiration? And with that, drop that in the chat, drop that in and wherever you're listening to it, drop it in the comments there and let us know what is that meaningful step that you can take today to honor your highest inspiration. And for me, mine is going out later this afternoon. I will go out and I will get a yogi, Y-O-G-I, tea bag. That is
Yeah,
going to be my most meaningful step I'm going to take today to honor my highest inspiration because I talk about it often. And that is fulfilling for me. Lit up, lit up, lit up. Remember
beautiful.
that. So thank you, listeners. Thank you for joining us here today as we wrap up our tips to be positive when you don't feel it. That is our deliciously motivated mindset podcast / conversation with Debz, me, and Moira.
Me.
Thank you very much to Moira and to you listeners. Thank you for leaning in and taking this on board. We're inspired to be here and
Yeah.
share our wisdom with you.
Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you, dear Deb. Thank you, Internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, listeners. We'll
Thank
catch you
you.
next time. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.